everybody, welcome to week 13 of CIT 12. 13, normally an unlucky number, but this week actually happens to be pretty interesting. Now the actual work we'll be doing this week is pretty standard. There's going to be a reading, a lecture, a quiz, a discussion, and a lab. But what's interesting is that this week it's all about computer science. We're looking at one of those small sections in between chapters. In this case, in between chapters 7 and 8. It's called Technology in Focus Under the Hood. So the reading will be fairly short. But that small reading includes a lot of concepts that are some of the basic ideas behind computer science. So what is computer science? Computer science is really the study of computers, how they're created, how do we represent, just using logic and electricity, all the different things that you come to experience, like music and movies and photos. Computer science is sort of understanding how to solve problems using these sort of unique tools that we have in computer science. And so the chapter is really going to be focused on the CPU and binary and how that process works with the machine cycle. The lecture is going to go kind of beyond that, a little bit more into software development. Computer science is the major that most computer programmers get. Computer science is the degree I have. And so the idea of programming computers, of developing software, is really interesting. Kind of like, last week we talked about networking. That's a great career path. Turns out computer programming is also a great career path. And although there are fewer programming jobs here in Fresno, many more networking jobs, there's a movement afoot. And we've got local groups like Bitwise Industries, who I highly recommend you check out online, that are trying to build a culture of computer programming right here in Fresno. And they're incubating new businesses all the time so that Fresno can kind of grow that part of our industry. But outside of Fresno, there's no need for that. The fact is, there are lots and lots of computer programming jobs out there. And in fact, a lot of people say that there are many jobs in computer programming that will go unfilled simply because we don't have enough people qualified to actually take the jobs. And so after you've done the reading and you've taken the quiz, you've checked out the lecture, that's the topic I want us to discuss this week in your discussion. I want you to check out a website called code.org. There's also a video embedded in the Week 13 folder that comes from that website that you can view. And code.org is really trying to start a movement towards teaching children computer science, making computer science a bigger part of our education, but also just taking adults who maybe have never been exposed to it and saying, hey, try this out. Just knowing those skills, the idea that so much of our world revolves around computer technology and computer code, and yet so few people actually know how to create that code or read that code or understand that code, is kind of sad. And so it's a great resource, not only to sort of buoy everybody to pursue computer science, but also to actually learn it. And so check out the video. There's a video embedded, like I said, in the Week 13 folder. But you can also get it on the website itself that kind of talks about code.org's mission. And then click on the Learn link and the Hour of Code. The Hour of Code is a sort of a movement that code.org was starting in order to get people to just try it. Take an hour and play with stuff. Now, you don't actually have to play around with programming for an hour, although you might get caught up with it and do it anyway. But there's lots of different resources under that Hour of Code to learn computer programming. I would suggest one of the more college level ones like Code Academy, which you'll have to scroll down to find. Some of the earlier ones are really designed for younger kids. But if you have kids, you could actually do that instead. Just share this with your kids and use, I can't remember the Frozen princess, but you can actually program, learn how to program using the princess from Disney's Frozen, whatever her name is. There's probably people yelling at the screen right now, but there's lots of different ways to get your kids involved, to learn stuff early, and getting them, sort of caught onto it early. It not just, gives them a skill that they may be able to turn into a career. It also helps them to learn how to think. And that's sort of the most important thing you can get out of computer science. It doesn't just help you, use computers better or know how to program computers. It helps you in math. It helps you in reasoning and logic. It helps you in lots of different ways when it comes to learning things. So check out code.org. Check out the video. Play around with some of the Learn tools under Learn Hour of Power, not Hour of Power, Hour of Code, and play around with that. And yeah, tell me your thoughts. What do you think about this idea? Do you think computer science should be a bigger part of our educational system? Is it something that you think you could get interested in and maybe start pursuing now? You'll hear that a lot of people only started programming once they got into college. So maybe give it a shot. And then finally, we just have our third lab in PowerPoint. So, second lab in PowerPoint. Second lab, not third. So hopefully you found that a lot easier than Excel. And it's going to continue that way. So make sure you get the second one down. PowerPoint's sort of a weird thing. You're going to learn a lot of things that you probably shouldn't use. As it turns out, if you know how to make sounds and animations and all this sort of stuff, your PowerPoints generally end up worse. But regardless, it's good that you know how to use them, even if you have the style and restraint not to use them. But anyway, PowerPoint, Lab 2. And that's it for week 13. If you have any questions or need to know anything, you've got my email address. Send me a question and I will get back to you as soon as I can. So yeah, have a great week and I will see you online. Did I mention that computer science is also what allows you to take an idea from your head, just type into a computer and turn it into an app? Something you could actually sell like online and make a bunch of money? We have classes to teach you how to do that.